Hello.
Let's be professional now. Guys, be professional.
Okay.
Ryan was born professional.
Professionalism hurt.
We're looking at BG's beautiful tomato plants right now.
They're nice.
They are nice. Ryan was wondering why there's no fruit on them.
I picked them all. I picked all the tomatoes out this morning.
We had to teach him something new today.
Oh, shoot.
If you're not learning something every day, you're not getting smarter. That's what I always say.
Wow. I never thought of that.
Right? You just learned something. Fuck yeah, I'm making people smarter. When you forget something every day and you don't learn something, then you get dumber. So wave.
Aaron says, hi, Ryan, Allen, Champ, and
Really
Wade.
gotta focus. What's up, AA Ron? You're not in trouble yet.
What's up?
Tavo.
Oh, there's peanuts in here.
How old are they?
Do peanuts get old?
Nah, peanuts never expire.
Yeah, I think they're fine, man.
Sweet.
As long as, I mean, if it looks like a peanut, you're probably good.
Look, I got a triplet.
Jesus.
There's 3 chambers.
Yo, don't open that one. That's
It's
a lucky
blurry.
one.
Yeah, it's got a worm in it.
I'm saving this. Maybe I could sell it on eBay.
It looks like a ween. Should leave it be.
Oh,
Keith hears voices.
looks like a what?
Nothing. It was blurry. It looked like it was blurred out because it looked like something inappropriate.
Okay.
What, those nuts that Wade was chewing on?
These nuts.
Look at this guy.
Look at this beautiful
There's got
nut.
his hand all over it.
Hey, get your hand off your nut, dude.
Well, that's the only way we'll focus.
It's the only way we can focus on your nut.
It just looks like a. Oh, what's that sticking out to the bottom of the screen?
We gotta go. Okay. Here, hey, welcome everyone. Oh, now you put your nut away. You don't want to show everyone your nut?
Oh man, you're so professional.
Welcome everyone to the Gaijin Guys
What's up,
podcast, where we talk about Japanese music news, or we interview
And
people.
Other things.
We got BG here from local band Smokeout. Welcome, sir. How you doing?
What's up, BG?
I'm doing excellent. How are you, gentlemen?
We're doing great. We just got done.
Okay.
Well, as you saw, we just got done staring at Wave's nut, and
Triple nut. Interesting.
now we're on to things.
Thank you for not leaving.
Thank you for not. I love how you had an automatic sensor for your nut, though. It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah. Put your hand on it. It comes into focus. That's what he says.
How does this always happen?
P&D says the stream has gone south already. Of course. We always go south.
We started.
Anyways, BG also does reactions to a bunch of awesome bands. He's also done a lot of Japanese bands, all of them, a lot of them, and everything, though. You do everything from everywhere. Dude, tell us how the hell you got where you're at now with local band Smokeout. How did it all start, man? So let's start from the womb. Let's go. 1 year old. What happened?
From the way back womb. All right, so it started off as I used to be in this band called Hit 'Em. It was like a rock hip hop project, and one day I was like, man, YouTube. I had just started reactions. This is probably like 8 or 9 years ago, and I had just started seeing people do reactions on YouTube, and I was like, oh, I should do this to some of my homies, local bands. And I pitched it to the rest of my band to see if they wanted to like co-host with me. And they were like, this is the stupidest idea you've ever had. That's literally what they said.
Wow.
And out of spite, it like pissed me off. So out of spite, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go shoot a couple of these. No one watched. Literally a couple of years go by, and all of a sudden I've done 1,000 of them. And it's all still local bands only. I mean, bands nobody's listening to. And that was kind of the goal of the show, was to uplift smaller time garage bands. And somewhere around 2,500 reaction videos. My buddy was like, bro, I've done like 100 reaction videos. You've done 2,500. I've done 100 and I have 20,000 subscribers. You have 3,000. What is the problem? And I'm like, well, nobody's ever watching the videos because they're not looking for these bands. And he was like, you just got to abandon that. Don't abandon it, but basically still work in the locals, but you got to work in a bunch of bigger artists so people can discover your channel.
Right.
And so I kind of switched format and did that. And it's been a little bit busier since then in the last like 8 or 9 months, I would say.
Wow.
Nice.
I can relate with that sentiment of like the bands being like, you're crazy. That's what happened with that Kodak in the beginning. I literally lost the entire original lineup because I said we should do YouTube, and they're like, you're nuts. It's never going to happen.
So they quit?
They quit. They quit. They're like, it's all luck. You can't do it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
and now
I'm
they're
gonna keep
world
doing
famous musicians.
And no, we're not.
We're good.
Dude, I
No,
respect that drive to keep supporting those smaller bands though, because
Yeah, man.
it's a lot of work to make music and be in a band, and when no one's appreciating it, it's a bummer. So that's really cool. You would
Yeah, I do bounce. I probably do like honestly like 60 to 70% bigger artists, but I still throw in at least 1 or 2 smaller ones almost every day. Because that's kind of like the format of what we're really about. And especially as away from YouTube, on everything else, Facebook, Twitch, all that stuff, we kind of tend to focus on the smaller artists.
Right on.
Are you
But,
still
by
in a
doing-
band? Are you?
No, it's been at least 9 or 10 years.
What did you do? Did you play guitar? Did you play bass? What did you play?
I did the singing and screaming.
Singing and screaming. You ever think about going
Nice.
back into a band like setup? No.
Not really, but there is a project that when I had quit, that band was called Hit 'Em at the time. I've probably only been in like 2 or 3 serious bands my whole life, but that particular band, when they broke up, I was like, okay, now's your opportunity to do whatever you want. And I wanted to do like a electronicore metalcore project. And I worked on it for like 4 or 5 months with this guy in Russia because I had no band members. I was just going to do vocals over like instrumentals. We went back and forth with these instrumentals, which are completely finished. And I was like, it's going to be a concept album about horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, Ice Nine Kills drops The Silver Scream like 2 months later. And I was like, wow, this is pretty much exactly what I was trying to do. So I shelved the whole project and it's never come out. But through connections I've made over the last couple of years, I kind of feel like in 2023, it's time to bring it back out. So my goal is to have 2 or 3 vocalists of any genre from all over the world jump on each song. So there's like 12 vocalists total. And then it's just a free EP we put out. No one makes any money. It's just for fun. But I just kind of want it to see the light of day someday.
That's a good idea, man. I was about to say, don't abandon it. You should definitely just maybe do what Ice Nine Kills, but like put a twist on it even further, you know? I don't know what you would do as a twist, but don't do porno grind, though. I just learned about that genre the other day. That's a very interesting genre.
Never even heard of that genre.
Do you know? Yeah. It exists. It's another
Porno
version of grindcore.
yeah. I made the mistake of watching your video today, Alex.
But so going down this journey of reactions of these other bands and bringing them on, what is like the most interesting band you've interviewed to date?
The most interesting?
Yeah.
Probably when we interviewed Under Oath, that one was special to me because I grew up a big Under Oath fan. And when we were talking to Spencer, the screamer of Under Oath, he really opened up about his struggle with drugs and how he almost killed himself. And I just did not see the interview going that way. So that one was kind of just a little bit of a curveball, but he was bluntly open about everything. And so that one to me was like a particularly interesting one that you kind of, you know, when you have like bigger guests on, you got your notes, you prepare, and then all of a sudden the guest says something and everything just changes. And that was one of those
record scratch.
Whoa. Wow. So out of the Japanese bands, what has interested you the most between them? What's like really caught your attention and you've just latched onto?
Okay, so my latest fix right now is Pineapple Kryptonite. That is my absolutely
Dude, I love that so much.
Gecko. That is like my jam
Oh.
right now.
I love that. Then when I found out it was Mike that was on there with him. He worked with the Beastie Boys and stuff.
Mike D?
No, not Mike D. He's a producer. What's Dollar Mike? What's it called? Money Mike. Money Mark. Money Mark. Money Mark worked with him on it, and they came to the States to work with him. And I don't know if you read anything about the song or not, but they're in the studio, right, working on stuff, and it's the first time the girls have kind of worked on the music themselves, instead of just putting vocals and dance to it. And he had brought in a pineapple, like just for the hell of it. He brought a pineapple into the studio, and they kept looking at it and laughing. And then they started talking about writing a song, and they were like, well, they fucking wrote a song because he brought that pineapple in, and they just wrote this whole fucking song based around this pineapple just being there. And the whole story or whatever, the video came out just because it was there and they thought it was funny.
That is amazing.
It's like fucking awesome video, dude. That's the first thing I saw from them too.
I have not heard this song yet at all.
That's great.
You're gonna be hooked immediately. It's so weird. It's such a weird song, but it's gonna suck you in like a trap.
It is. Have you checked out any of their other stuff?
Yeah, I've heard. There's a couple of videos they have where they're like in the school, like in the back of the classroom dancing. I've seen one or two of those. Also,
I saw those.
Dude, they're really deep if you look into the lyricism and what they're about, because they're goofy anyway. But then, like the one of them in the school, there's a lot of weird shit going on in the background with teachers fucking around with students. Like it's a pretty heavy subject, and then you hear it and you see kind of the background stuff and the looks that Suzuka's given and everything, and it's just like, oh damn, this is not funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, she's quite the artist too, Suzuka. She does live streams where she draws for like 3 hours and some weird shit.
Wow.
Awesome group though.
Interesting. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I've only heard the ones in the school where they did everything in one take. That song was kind of I wasn't feeling that one, but there was a one before that I liked a lot, and I can't remember the name of it, but there was like two of them. They were in a school, right? If I'm not mistaken. There's one where they did it all in one take, and then you see everybody come out of the door. They like raise the door, and they're like, ah,
yeah,
which is impressive.
Where they're like on a bus.
Yeah, because they do a lot of weird dancing and stuff.
Oh yeah, and that's something I was surprised. I like what like their dances and stuff are really, really cool.
Yeah, in that video, one of the girls is like, does like a dance like this with her palms up.
Yeah, yeah. That was not the band I was expecting you to mention actually at all.
Yeah.
Well, that's just like my flavor of the week right now. They're not my favorite Japanese act, but I just love that song. Like,
what is your favorite Japanese act?
Well, it's Band-Maid, of course.
Of course.
It's nice.
I didn't think you were gonna say Band-Maid, honestly. I thought you were gonna say Nemophila. After watching reactions, I was like, I thought it was gonna be Nemophila for some reason. Well, it sounds good. What is it about Band-Maid that you like the most?
They just have a fun, infectious, positive energy. Even though a lot of their music is, to me, is similar to the last song I heard from them. Like they don't venture out too experimental very often. It's just consistent. It's consistently catchy. They have just cool little sections where they'll let like Misa, the bassist, shine for a little bit. They let every band member shine in different aspects. They're willing to try acoustic stuff. I love the whole gimmick of them in the maid outfits and the story behind it. What's not to love? That's
awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, because how you like over the Nemophila ones, like it seemed to like it, but it's funny because your first reaction was Unleash for Band-Maid. And I thought that was interesting because I don't think a lot of us can say like that was our first reaction. Is they're like one of their newest songs. So how was it going from like Unleash and then going backwards into the rest of the journey?
It was odd. And I'm kind of going in order right now from starting there and then going back to the oldest and then going to the new stuff. So let's say like the third or fourth one was something off like their first EP. And it's very like pop punkish, popish kind of. It's not as hard rock, I guess you'd say. But I like seeing the growth, the evolution of a band too. So it's fun to see, you know, this worked for a little while. Let's change our sound a little bit. Let's do this. Let's work with a different producer who suggests things we've never thought of or tried before. I love seeing how bands grow.
You'll see a big switch once you get, to where they started writing their own shit completely, as opposed to being offered things to play, and then they just kind of they fucking take off. It's awesome. Yeah, the older stuff is they weren't writing everything like the pop punk stuff. It's not bad. It's just a lot different. You can hear elements of what once you listen to newer stuff, you hear elements of what's to come. Because I kind of came into it after Unseen World and kind of jumped in there. So I had a lot of stuff beforehand. So I went back and listened to it. I'm like, oh, okay. You kind of hear, you can hear some seeds in there, like where this could go. But it's really interesting.
I like how you said they have like this infectious positive energy too, because like that's another thing where there's people that aren't huge fans of the music itself, but more about the band, them as people, because they're so supportive of each other and they're so aware of their audience and like connecting with their audience. Like even if you don't love their music so much, you can still love the band because they're just that charismatic. I think the guy who narrates the Orange documentaries was talking about how he fell in love with them as people first before he liked their music so much. I just thought that was so interesting.
Do any of you guys speak fluent Japanese?
No.
So that's to go with your point, Wave, is we do now due to searching lyrics and stuff like that, but you didn't know what they were saying, but you still fell in love with it anyway because music's universul and it still spoke to you even though you didn't understand the lyrics.
You can feel it from people, even when we saw them live. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's what got me when I listened to them and then I'd look up the lyrics afterwards. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what I was feeling from that. It's like, God damn, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And just seeing them interact with each other between songs where their personalities like really come out and the MC time and stuff. It's like they're just such cool people and they all have such unique personalities from each other too. Yeah.
I do think the first Japanese reaction I ever did though was Baby Metal, Give Me Chocolate.
Yeah,
I got sucked in right away after hearing that song.
And that goes back to the positive vibes. Like Baby Metal, like is my favorite kind of metal because it's upbeat. Like I love upbeat metal, like groove, like, and that was just like the perfect match when I heard Baby Metal. And I loved your Megasune reaction because you're like, Give Me Chocolate's my favorite, but now Megasune is. That's how. For me, it was a little bit behind. I thought it was hilarious because you said that the two girls were sisters, and I'm like, I was laughing because my first take was like, are they triplets? And I got so much shit in the comments, so I was laughing so hard when he said, are they sisters? I'm like, well, it's better than what I said.
I think most people when they see them the first time, obviously not Sue, but the other two was who I thought what the sisters were.
Yeah. I made a bigger mistake. I saw it was, I can't remember which song. It's the one with the Dragon Force that wrote it. Why can't I remember the name of it all of a sudden? But anyways,
Road of Resistance.
Road of Resistance. There you go. It was, I was gonna say Rondo of Nightmare for some reason. The camera angle was far away, so they all look like the same height. That's my justification. Where I'm like,
if you're the same height as somebody, you're probably their fucking DNA twin.
Yes, of course. It's just like, I'm pretty sure that, Wave and I are twins. We're pretty much the same height. No, I was kidding.
We are? Oh, thanks. We did height comparisons, but I can't remember what the results were.
No, I don't know. They did. As I got closer, I'm like, I swore they looked alike for a second. It's just like, it's my thing is I say the first thing that comes to my head. I don't know. You probably do the same thing too, right? You're like, your first initial thoughts, do you let them just spew out when you're reacting, or do you take a moment to think about it?
No, I have to do it. I have to press pause and talk like right then and there because as a stoner, it's out the window 20 seconds later. I won't remember.
Yep. And that brings. Go ahead.
I gotta be positive. Yeah, that's it.
No, like when you were talking about the solos, I'm like, dude, I feel you. It's not like you don't replay the solo anyways. Like you're gonna still rewind it, play from the beginning. But like I'm the same way. I don't care. Like I'm reacting to you, go listen to the song. But I understand, hear the solo in the full, but I can understand it if you pause a lot in it. So it's funny because you got the same crap I did, like for pausing during the solos. because you're trying to break it
you
down.
get beat up in the comments on that.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Everyone wearing Ryan's shirt. How
Yeah.
dare you pause?
I don't care. Pause anyway, because I like to enjoy. I like to break
Do what
down
you
the
want.
solo. Like it's such a habit of mine because when I learn solos and I don't have the actual music or stuff, I'm like, all right, I take it by phrase. So I guess I was just used to it or something like that. But I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty funny.
You have a special something I brought today.
Ooh.
It is
Oh,
a baby
shit.
metal
A lunchbox?
lunchbox that was gifted to me. And inside of the lunchbox is some
Chocolate.
Saki and a masa cup.
Well,
Nice.
If it's okay with you guys, I'm gonna
you can't
That's
share that with
awesome.
us.
get down a little bit.
Yeah, like what the hell?
Thanks for showing that, Dick. I want some sake.
Well, I told Alan ahead of time I would bring some sake, so that was my warning.
Sorry, guys, forgot to tell you.
I'll be right back. I gotta go to the store. There's like one place in my town that has sake if they have it in stock. If I didn't buy it out.
That
Yeah.
is awesome, man. So, what happened with the Love Bites reactions? So, you are getting some shit in the comments. So, you want to talk about that? I thought was pretty funny with your Love Bites reactions because they were like, she's in heels and all that stuff going after you. And again, it's just funny how we made the same comments and then like you just get roasted. like the whole thing, like why are they just standing there? Like that's what I was thinking.
The first couple of Love Bites reactions, my complaint was, wow. Well, I was like, wow, they're amazing. The metal is fantastic. Midori's my personal favorite in that band, but I was like, wow, their singer just kind of stands there and sings and doesn't run around. I like a lot of energy on stage, and she kind of just stand and deliver, which is a style of being a vocalist, I guess you'd say, that a technique, or you just stand there. But people would just go crazy in the comments, like, what do you know? Blah, blah, blah. She has heels on. What do you expect her to jump in the audience with a dress on? I'm like, nah, I just want her to move around and you know. And then in a couple of times in some videos, you do see that she'll like climb a thing, go near the drummer, blah, blah, blah. But
Yeah, I
People
got
just
yelled
love
at for
her.
saying that they were like stoic on Regal. They're like, no, they move around all the time. I'm like, well, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I said I didn't like one of Miyako's solos, and that was a mistake.
Is it a
say it was
mistake
bad.
though?
You can't. You're always going to say something wrong with some of these bands.
You can't like all their leads. It's like for me, I love a majority of Konami's leads, but I don't like all of them. They're not all like my favorite solos, you know?
Which one do you not like?
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
What don't you like?
I don't remember. There is one. There is some that I'm like, oh, it's okay. But then her newer ones are the best, I think. They're like freaking phenomenal.
I just jammed Moratorium yesterday for the first time.
Oh,
I
it's
saw
a
What'd
great
you
song.
think, dude? Because that's
That was the heaviest song I'd ever heard from them.
that's fucking awesome. Isn't it? I love that song so much.
Yeah, that's easily in my top 5 now for them. for
So
sure.
Yeah.
you haven't listened to Unseen World yet at all, have you?
Dude, I've got like 40 more Band-Maid songs I've never
Oh
heard.
my god.
And I try and not listen to the music before I do the reaction. Like on the
Yeah.
Twitch days when like people
Nice.
suggest stuff, if something catches me in the first 15, 20 seconds, I'll stop it and then write it down. And that's the end of that song for the day.
Right
So
on.
when I go to
Oh,
it
okay.
tomorrow, it's the closest I can get to a first listen.
Nice.
Wow. Has any fans from any of these bands like kind of killed the music for you? Because a Metalhead's perspective brought up a good point. Love Bites fans killed the vibe for me for the band. You have a band
Oh.
like that you've reacted to that just the fans just like destroyed the vibe and you didn't want to check out another
That's a good
song.
question.
I'm gonna have to think about it for a second. My answer is yes. I definitely have gotten that vibe before.
I have one while you think about it.
Yeah,
Go
what you
ahead,
got?
Wave. What's yours?
What's that?
Baby metal fans hated me.
They love you now because of our reactions,
When
though.
I talked about Band-Maid in the same video as Baby Metal, it's like,
Oh, that's right.
you're in trouble, dude.
Did they really go after you, Wave? The Baby Metal fans?
No, not that. Like 1 or 2 people. It's not really that big of a deal. But like, I did make the mistake of putting Baby Metal in the thumbnail when I was only talked about them for like
It's like the
1 minute.
when he got the most shit. I like heard about that.
Yeah.
What are you telling me for? He makes fuck thumbnails.
The only thing
I wouldn't have done
that comes to mind is I don't have an exact band, but a lot of times when I check out like a new K-pop boy band, I'll be like, oh, well, they kind of have a BTS vibe, blah blah, and they hate that. They hate comparing the biggest boy band in the world to this other act. I'm like, oh, it doesn't sound anything like them. What are you talking about?
It's because they want
unsubbed for that comment. All
Dang.
that.
Okay.
It's because they want to feel special with that band. That's why some of these fans are so fanatic over it. They're like, they're the most unique, interesting thing out there. And then when somebody says that it sounds like something, they're like, oh, you're not saying it's unique? I'm like, no, we're just trying to come up with a comparison. Like, what comes to mind? You know, because there's some people that have only listened to one style of music and they'll compare it to it, and you're like, how the hell did you hear that in it? But that's all they know.
Only compare it. Yeah, you can only compare it to what you've heard. Like, for the first, I don't know how many. I'm like, well, as far as Alice in Chains is concerned, Band-Maid.
That's right.
Blah blah blah. I'm like, what are you talking about Alice in Chains for? Like, that's my favorite fucking band, and they have 2 great vocalists. So so does Alice in Chains. You know,
that's a really good point. I remember
people
that.
Are like, oh, Japanese death metal. It's like, well, if all you listen to is death metal. You know, and there's some heavy shit you hear you weren't expecting,
right?
Yeah,
I don't know, because even I thought of them as a little bit of metal to begin with, and I don't now, but they had some elements. There's definitely some elements, especially when it hits a solo like Moratorium. It gets fucking heavy, dude.
Yeah,
and you know,
to me, it was like a Pantera section right there at the end.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast is one you should check out too.
I have heard that one. I have heard that one. Yeah. That and Freezer, Beauty to Beast, Moratorium, my 3 recent favorites.
Freezer is Screaming. You got Screaming yet?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I think I'm on track 3 or 4 on New Beginnings.
Well, Screaming was on that was on a single though. That was on the flip side of Endless Story. Or not Endless Story. What the fuck was it?
I love Moratorium though. I was shocked when Eric told me we were talking about his concert, the Phoenix concert. He's like, it's okay. I'm like, what? What do you mean it's okay? I love that
Start
song.
Over?
Start Over.
Okay, thank you, Seize the Day.
I knew somebody. Yeah.
I don't know if I know Screaming. Let me check.
That's the thing is there's so many songs.
On a regular album. It's on a single, so.
That's the thing. There's so many songs and that they just stay as singles, but don't end up on like an actual like
I have never heard
album. You know,
that's right. That's right up there with Freezer.
Like About Us, like that song's so good, and yet it's not an album. You know?
You know what? To come think about it, I've heard About Us, but there might be a song I've missed by Band-Maid. Now that I think about it, because of all those singles that I probably have not heard on the flip side of things. Because Freezer, I'm not ringing a bell at all for some reason.
I fucking love
Freezer was on an album.
It wasn't on an album. Okay.
Yeah, it was on an album.
I don't know why the name is not like ringing a bell. Normally, when you hear the name, you're like, "Oh, okay, I remember that somewhere," but not that one. For some reason,
I just cuss.
You just
Actually,
what?
I think P&D is the one who told me to listen to Freezer. I think.
New Beginning.
See, Beauty and the Beast is one. Michael in the chat's like, "No, I don't like that song, but I'll listen to it because you mentioned it." If I have a reaction to it and when it starts off, I'm like, what is this, fucking Metallica? And then it changes. You know, I won't say too much since you haven't seen it. But there's some things I didn't like about it and things I really liked. And the more I listen to it, the more I've grown to like it. So now, instead of waiting for certain parts, I just enjoy the whole song.
There you go.
Nice.
What do you have?
I don't think I've heard Matchless Gum yet.
That one I've heard. That one.
Is that a single?
Song.
I actually enjoyed their earlier albums. I don't know, something about it. Like after you listen to the newer ones and stuff, it's like it just feels like refreshing to check out those older albums.
Because you love them, Alan.
I love this. I love the sound of Saki's voice in the earlier days. You also is just as much as like
it is different. It is different.
I guess I like
this. There's this on the edge feel the whole time, like she's barely hanging on there sometimes, but it sounds really good.
Which song?
And they're like just early vocals from Saki.
Oh yeah.
So
and then there's the bonus songs they put out on like the special release albums, like some of the instrumentals and stuff.
Yeah, what got tons of material.
Tons of material.
Crazy.
Yeah,
like
you have a lot to go
put
through.
So much effort into it, but it's not on their album. Like It's crazy to put that much effort into something that's not going to be featured in a full album.
So what's your
special though?
Yeah.
So what's your favorite strain to smoke while you're listening to Band-Maid?
To be honest with you, I don't
What do you got?
know what I'm smoking most of the time. I get free buds from this place called Cali Care Group, and they give me indica, sativa, hybrids, everything, and I just throw them in this giant jar right here. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh wow.
It's probably up to here full, but I don't know what I'm smoking when I'm smoking.
Random buds.
Yep.
Have you ever gotten one where you're like, oh crap, what was that?
Yeah, like you get scared for a second because it thinks that bad. Yeah, for sure.
Oh shit!
Like some blue cheese.
Blue cheese
has like a really pungent, cheesy, stinky smell. It doesn't smell like normal weed. It just stinks. And when you open it up, it like smells up the whole room, and that's good. You want that.
Nice.
That's
It's a delicacy.
yeah. Blue cheese is a good strain, and blue cheese, believe it or not, it actually has like some blue hairs and stuff on it.
Wow.
You found the right one.
Are there hairs in the cheese too?
Radio Raffis' potluck.
Right.
Captain Dusty farts. I love blue cheese.
Dude, that'd be good on a burger with some caramelized onions.
It is.
Some
We made
blue
one at Carl's
cheese.
Jr.
Like
There you go.
blue cheese
Grind it up and a little
olive oil.
seasoning on top, a little bit of sizzle.
Yeah, Carl's Jr. We had a burger where it's like you had crispy onion strings and it was blue cheese crumbles and then like tomatoes, red onions, and then the caramelized onions on top of it. They had it there. I forgot what it was called.
I would eat that.
So do you ever do edible stuff like oils and stuff, or do you just
Yeah. I have a funny edible story. Well, it's I don't really remember much of it, but I went to this thing called High Times Festival, and it was probably like 15 minutes from where I live. And like Rick Ross is there, Burner, DMX, a couple other people. It's a pretty big lineup. It was like $15-20, but there's like hundreds and hundreds of vendors, and everyone's trying to outcompete the next vendor. So like literally you get like $5 grams and really, really cheap oil and all that stuff.
Dang.
So this one guy has 1,000 milligram slushies, and it's like literally like a 25 ounce slushy. And he's like, if you save the cup and come back, it's $5 more to refill it. And I was like, okay.
What?
I look at my wife and I'm like, I have to consume this whole thing because the deal is too good to pass up. So,
that's like a year's worth.
years worth. So anyway, I crushed the whole thing in like an hour, and I'm like crazy faded, but I'm like, I gotta get my. So I go back, I give him the $5, and he refills it again. So like another hour and a half goes by, and I'm drinking all the rest of it. And next thing you know, I'm sleeping on the grass where people are like standing around, like watching their performance. I am just this is the middle of the day. And I'm asleep on the grass. I missed like 2 performers, and I wake up to Rick Ross performing, and it's loud as hell. I knew like all this happening. And my wife was like next to me the whole time. She was like, "You would not wake up." And I woke
Was
up.
it a green
my
out?
eyes were like this red, dude. Like that red. That's the most high I've ever been. So about 2,000 milligrams, plus like joints and stuff here and there.
Oh my God.
I do not recommend it.
I love how you laughed when Wave said a year supply and like, this 2 days for me.
Whatever, dude.
Yeah, it's 1,000 milligrams. A normal person
man.
should take like 20 to 30 milligrams, and then they're chilling. And then if you're like a seasoned vet, maybe like 100 to 200. More than that, and you start to get to like panic mode, even if you smoke all the time in some scenarios. So I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
Wild.
Have you been in like severe panic modes?
Yes. I one time we were going. You guys are gonna get all the good stories today. So,
Hell yeah.
there used to be a bar in LA that was like a Tim Burton bar. Like the whole, when you go into
Nice.
it, they have like Johnny Depp character
not,
will come
not
out
be a
in
good place to
costume.
fucking freak out.
Yeah, so my homegirl used to work at this clinic, and she handed me 2 cushy punches, which are 100 milligrams each, so like literally like this big. And I don't know what it was, but they hit like they were like 300 or 400 each, and we were like doing shots and stuff to save a couple bucks before we go into the bar. And I'm sitting at the bar, and I swear, like I'm just tripping out like crazy. Like it was almost like an acid hallucination. And we're like partying because we were gonna walk to see some band or something later that night from wherever the bar is. But I am just tripping, dude, the whole time. Like it's like an Alice in Wonderland. I know it's not Alice in Wonderland, but it has like that kind of vibe. Willy Wonka's walking around the room at one part. Like it is trippy. But that was a good time.
Were you just like nervous the whole time, like kind of just like looking at everywhere? Did anyone like notice?
I think of Tim Burton's.
The panics come in because you start to think like, man, I'm so stoned. I wonder if people are looking at me like he's clearly that.
Yes,
stoned.
yes, they are.
You start thinking like that, like
that fucking Beetlejuice is looking at you, and Jack Skellington's looking at you.
It's like, yeah,
Did you like get the tunnel vision?
I'll have a Bud Light. You're not
Sweat.
looking at the bartender. Yeah, I do get the sweats if I'm like panicking.
That's great. Are you from California?
No, I'm from South Florida.
Okay. I
West
don't know
Palm
why.
Beach.
You look like you're from Florida. That makes sense. I don't know why. Everyone from Florida looks like they're from Florida.
Here.
Are you Florida man?
It's funny because there's always this radio station like about true crime reports, and they're like, "Is this from New Mexico or Florida?" Because they have the craziest crimes.
Always Florida.
It's usually
Always Florida.
Always Florida.
There was like an entire
Always
podcast dedicated to Florida crime.
I've been through too many hurricanes.
I'm gonna
man. I had to move. I hated the hurricanes.
Oh yeah, I
Put
bet.
in Florida man right now. See what happens.
My friend Zach told me he lived in Florida. He's like, his theory is that the heat gets so fucking intense that it just like makes people insane. And they just start going off the rails. I'm like, it could be the drugs also.
First one, Florida man confesses to killing mom because she never pushed me to be a man. Authorities say.
Wow.
Mother kissing me home.
I'm like, what did we do?
Fucking Florida man.
That was like an Uno reverse card for that guy.
No.
It's her fault.
Seems like a
You
real.
feel the humidity though as soon as you walk through the doors of the airport.
Oh yeah.
It's just like a wall of heat just hits you.
I know that
Ugh.
feeling because of Atlanta, Georgia. I remember when I got off the plane in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm like, it's like January. Why is there so much humidity? Like going on. I remember it snowed in the morning and they were like dying in sweat like by the afternoon. It was like 100 and something degrees. It's ridiculous.
And I'm grateful for my 13 degrees right now. I'd much prefer that to
Nippy.
100.
Like
Oh, man.
29 here. We're freaking warm over here.
Tropical winter.
Yeah.
So you lived in Florida and then you moved to California afterwards, or did you move to other places?
I did move to California from Florida. I went to Full Sail University in Orlando, which is like an audio and engineering school.
Yep. I remember those commercials. I used to get a bunch of letters from them.
It was cool. It was 13 months, 7 days a week, no summer, nothing. Literally 1 year. It's 2 years crammed into 13 months. And it's weird. You go to school at like 2 a.m.
What?
Yes, you go to school for 4-hour blocks, and your schedule is different every single week. So you couldn't even work a job. You have to be going to school like
Jesus
the whole time.
Christ.
It's
What the
balanced
fuck?
around like when the studios were open, because they'd have like legit artists use the studios to record. So for us to get hands on, we'd have to be in there from 2 to 6 in the morning. But it was awesome. I do not use that degree whatsoever though.
Why did you not use the degree? What was it? What
Well, I
happened?
did for a little while, but I'm saying like in current day, I don't use it for
Yeah.
anything.
Were you trying to be like a sound engineer or like producer, mixer?
Pretty much like all of the above. And I one time had like a small independent label that we put out a couple releases, and we tried to do like DIY everything in house. And then that kind of fizzled out. So
Gotcha.
that's kind of why I got the degree, was just to be able to know how to produce a record from start to finish and record drums properly and all kinds of little things like that.
So does that play into what you do now with the show though? Because it seems like you have it really well set up. You have like sound effects, like you have things going on during stream. By the way, he streams Monday through Friday, right? I can't remember the time on Twitch. So
Friday. Yeah, it's twitch.tv/local band smokeout, Monday through Friday, 4:20 to 7:20 p.m. Pacific. But we actually start the timer at 3:50. So there's a
we got to fight
timer,
about that. We got to fight about that.
And I'll explain why we do this. So
All right.
while we have a 30-minute timer, the goal is everyone is putting in the requests, and they use like a command key and they copy and paste the YouTube link. And then when I start, I go to the queue and I have 40 songs ready to go. So nice. I just fly through them in that order.
It is so brutal though.
And you can be the guy that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. No, Ryan, you have to put in the thing first, and then you try to request. He's like, "No, you're doing it wrong."
It happens daily.
Oh, I'll just do it myself. Stream Deck, dude.
We were doing the voting thing. We were doing the voting thing for Dichotic, right? And so I'm telling Ryan's streaming. Like, this is where we did the stream inception. I was like, hey, Ryan,
that was cool.
Do you mind helping me out or whatnot? And he's like, yeah, man. I'm like, go to stream. Then we get there and he's like, bro, this is fucking like 20 minutes from now. I'm like, dude, I didn't know. I thought it was at 4. So like, he's like, let me know when it's ready. I'm like, why is this 30 minutes?
For the tournament, the only reason we do it in the tournament, but yeah, you're not the first and you won't be the last to be like, bruh. So it's the tournament reasons is so everyone like can start tagging other people and sharing, and because whoever has the most fans in there wins it. So it's to be like, hey, get your people in here, share.
I gotta say this though. I think 10 minutes is plenty enough. I think if you just do 10 minutes, you'll still get all the requests, because people are so short-sighted. They're gonna get their 30 minutes early, be like, ah, fuck this, and then they're gonna forget about it. No,
it's low-key just a guilty pleasure of mine to just play all the music ahead of time. I pretend I'm a DJ when I'm counting down the time.
There you go.
There it is. I was just curious. Wait, there was something we were talking about before we started that we're gonna fight about. I can't remember. I already forgot.
Oh, we were gonna fight about the size of my head, how my reaction to this don't look like
yes, your tiny floating head reaction.
So okay,
yes.
So we're gonna argue about this one.
So let me tell everyone, he hates how we all do reactions, and well, I don't like how he does do reactions because it's just a tiny head. But I don't know. I'm not gonna speak for Ryan and Wade.
He showed up to the interview and he was like this big, not the bottom. Like, dude, you gotta make yourself a little bigger, bro.
Casper.
I did. I had to redo the camera to fill the screen right here. You're not lying.
The real reason is, we just want to see your beautiful body fully on screen.
All right, I want to hear this.
Okay, so the goal, there's a couple reasons. The goal is to not look like everybody else, so it stands out and it's a little bit different. Now the part that we're going to argue about. Okay, so everyone has the talent this big, and they take up 80% of the screen. And when I started the show, it was to glorify the talent, glorify the bands that nobody's listening to. So to transition over to how I do the reactions, I've always done. Well, once we kind of stopped being such a weed heavy reaction channel, I swapped to the tiny head version. And my goal is I'm only 20% on the screen, if that. And the talent, which is the focus of the reaction, is 80%. So that's kind of like my thought process behind it. But
makes sense.
I would say
95% of everybody else's channel is the opposite, where they take up 75 to 80% of the screen. And then what we're watching is only this big. And that's cool.
I get that.
Try and scooch over to the side.
Yeah, that I like.
You know what I mean?
Can I just say my reactions? My head's down in the corner, and then the full.
But Wave still makes sense. His is just a floating head. No, he's just a floating head. My point is, like, you want to see like the full reaction. I guess I talk with my hands. I guess so. Maybe that's why I was like the whole reaction up there. And then plus I have Eric with me.
Dude.
You don't want to
I'm gonna on purpose do a gag style reaction where I'm just ginormous one time.
From your forehead to your chin.
I'll do a Band-Maid song tomorrow, and I'll take my little floating head and I'll size it so huge it'll just be ridiculous. Just
do it, Band-Maid, dude.
My theory was just like you see the person. A lot of people are there for the reaction, not really to. They can go. They're gonna go watch the music video. And plus, for me, I had Eric next to me, so obviously we can't put it behind us because then we're gonna take up the whole fucking thing. And then the ones I do solo is just a big TV screen kind of thing. I just have a big TV screen. I do it like how Ryan does it. It's like we're off to the side.
Fight.
No, it's just cool. Everyone, you're right. Everyone does it their own way. It's just funny. I'm like, damn, it just looks like a floating head.
That's me.
She called that BG the floating head smoke out or something. I don't know. Just kidding. That was stupid. Don't do that.
That was taken.
That was taken.
Somebody's already got that channel.
How do you feel about the all the different type of reactions, like musician reacts, weightlifter reacts, stoner reacts, tiny head reacts,
weightlifter reacts? I never heard that.
truck driver reacts.
I feel like sometimes just because it's titled that, it could lead to a lot more views versus just
the react
band. Yeah, so it does make people click stuff. It is a little bit of and you're not really lying. Like I think I've only done it like a handful of times where I put like former musician reacts, but I don't really feel comfortable doing that because it's been like 10 years since I've been in a band, so I don't. It's just not really me. And a lot of people hate my old band, so it's not like I glorify it and bring it up all the time. But
I like a different one every time.
This would be interesting. I haven't seen this one yet. Porn star reacts.
You're on the wrong website for that.
Yeah, you're just not looking, dude.
Hey Ryan, you can start a new thing on Pornhub.
Failed.
those guys.
Tenor sax player
I do not love those eyes.
Failed porn star.
So with the
porn star.
local band Smokeout, are
Comes
you
up short again?
OnlyFans exclusive?
Rooster reacts.
Wah, wah.
Smooth talking voiceover reactor reacts.
Yeah.
Fingernail clipper reacts.
Do you think I should try this, Ryan? You think I should experiment with just crazy different titles for blank reacts?
Different one every time. Stuff that's true, like human reacts. Man with tattoos reacts. Man who has touched a car tire reacts. People react. I touched a car tire. What's this guy think?
I'm clicking that.
You get the anger clicks.
Married man.
His hair every morning. Reacts.
Married man reacts.
And who
works.
reacts,
We'll check
reacts.
the analytics
Holy
and
fuck.
see what works and didn't work.
Reactor reacts.
Beer drinker
What's he
reacts.
gonna say?
Nice, not a lie.
Oh, Florida man reacts. There you go.
Oh shit! There you go. That's gonna be
That's viral. That's
Actually,
Do
that
it.
might work. Florida
That's what I'm doing
man.
next time.
Florida man
You're not
might
from
be.
Florida.
Florida man might be the money one. I think you should do that.
You're onto something with that.
They're like, what could a possible Florida man have to say about Band-Maid? That'd be great.
I think you've nailed
Chemical
it.
reacts. Nice, Paul.
Someone said catatonic reacts, which is I know exactly where they got that from.
Where do they get that from?
Catatonic use, I think.
What's your favorite? Do you watch any reactors do reaction videos? Do you have a favorite reactor if you do?
Hardcore Keen.
Who?
Hardcore Keen.
Hardcore
'Cause
Keen.
I'm a metalhead at heart, so I don't do a whole lot of metal reactions, mostly for that reason, because I just like them all. But Hardcore Keen is someone that he has like a dummy behind him, and when like the nastiest, craziest
Oh, I know who
breakdown
he is.
comes, he turns around and runs and like punches and tackles it and does all kinds of stuff. And those are like points. Like you want that if you're a band that's submitted to him. That's how you know like it's just nasty and he's feeling it.
That's nasty.
That's hilarious. Who is that now?
That's nasty.
Hardcore Keem.
I know who he is because there's a
Keem,
local.
like Keemstar, like Keem.
Correct.
There's
Okay.
there's a local band here in El Paso that he reacted to, and that's how I heard about him. And it's funny because we were gonna do something where we had a bunch of dummies, like lifelike dummies of like Eric and the entire band, and then like the mosh with, and then we saw that, we're like, no, we can't do that because
That's
he
freaking
got
hilarious.
it. He's got it down. But that was hilarious. I can't remember the name of the band. Oh, No Suffer. No Suffer is the name of the band. He reacted to them. They're a local band in El Paso. They're like a chaotic metal band. Pretty good. You should check it out.
No Suffer. All right then.
What is your favorite band outside of the Japanese genre that you've been listening to lately?
My two favorite bands, like I would say right now or for the last couple of years, are Periphery and Circus Survive.
All right.
Ooh, Circus Survive. I used to be really into that Blue Sky Noise album.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I haven't heard someone mention Periphery in a long time.
Amazing.
Is Periphery still doing music? I haven't heard from them in forever, it seems like.
They are. The new album should be teased or single dropped, I would imagine early 2023. I hope. But yeah, Periphery is amazing.
This is like the first time someone's ever mentioned a band that I've actually heard of. Just gotta...
The lead Circus Survive like broke up though, like 3 or 4 months ago. Like, they announced like a permanent hiatus. So
dude, I can't imagine how was Anthony Green still with them?
Yeah, he's the only vocalist they ever had.
Man, I can't imagine how he sings like that all the time. Like he has such a crazy high voice.
You should check out listen to Picturesque. One long word. Picturesque. That dude's like 3 octaves higher.
What?
Oh wow.
Yeah, it sounds like it's almost sounds like a girl in some notes.
Is that the band name?
Yeah, Picturesque. They have some crazy high singing.
Captain Dusty has he's in chat. Circa's his favorite band. He has turned us on to some bands that have members from that band and other groups, if I'm not mistaken. From Circus Survive.
I didn't know that was your favorite band, Dusty Fats.
Yeah, Anthony Green is in a ton of bands. LS Dunes, it's a new band. It's member. Yeah, LS Dunes.
LS Dunes. That's the one I reacted to.
With the dude from Chemical Romance, with a couple of members from Thursday are in that one.
Nice. Actually covered one of the Circus Survive song like 10, 12 years ago with the singer I found on YouTube. Just did a random collaboration with a guy I found that could sing like Anthony Green. And yeah.
Was it something from Blue Sky Noise?
Yeah, it was Through the Desert Alone.
Okay, hell yeah.
But that's what's love the guitars, how they do guitars in stereo and both guitarists are doing something completely different, but it just works together so well.
Yeah, one of them usually has like a dissonant, like ringing chord while somebody else plays something a little stronger, like on top of it. It works really well. It takes it somewhere.
What is the most fascinating thing you learned when you were at Full Sail? Because you learned about mixing, I'm assuming. Was there like specific courses you did that were about mixing and producing, and like what did you learn exactly that's you would say you're probably using today, like while you're listening to music?
Dang, as you kept asking the question, my answer got further and further from where I was going to start. So something that I thought was really cool that I learned, and then my answer is going to change based on how you kept going, but I would say was Foley. I was fascinated by how sounds are added to movies, like that we had to like step on the gravel and make the sound of someone walking to a front door. Like all that stuff's added by somebody else later. It's not captured when the actors have like the boom mic style recording.
Usually sets are too noisy to get most of that stuff while it happens, huh?
Yeah, so there's a Foley artist, and their job is to literally make like the egg crack sounds and someone's back popping and a million different things, and it's just cool. Wow. The creation of sounds that was a really fun class.
Your movies are just fucking fake. What the hell?
What's crazy is like how they get those sounds so specific. When I was doing the first when we were doing like skits and stuff and filming, I thought that was so fascinating because like Final Cut Pro has a bunch of like sound effects in there of like Foley, and that was just fascinating. Like it felt so weird just taking a microphone and like going up to like the water and just like because like I couldn't find the right stream of water or something like that. I think with one of it, we're like pouring coffee in a cup, so it felt so weird. I'm like, all right, you need to hold the microphone really still, don't spill coffee in the cup. But we probably were doing it all wrong. We're just like trying to guess.
I want to see a movie where all the sound effects have to be done with someone's mouth.
What?
What?
like
That's
like you're
porno.
pouring the coffee, it's just like glug, 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 glug.
I want to see you do the sound effects for a movie that Alan makes with your mouth.
Let's do it. Let's go. We'll make a movie right now.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's write the script. All right,
All right.
BG.
No, it's full. It's full.
But it has to be someone that's not a talented mouth noise effect person.
It's
So we just some
oh, you're
random
saying you're
person-
talented? You're talented at that?
No,
You can do
I mean,
it.
there are some people out there
Oh.
that are really good at making sound effects with their mouth.
No, that's why we want you to
I
do
don't
it.
want them.
We want you to do it. Well, Wave,
Okay.
you can do the mouth sound
Send me
effects.
some footage.
All right, we're gonna do it right now. We're gonna make footage right now. So BG, let's set up the film. Okay, how are we doing this? How can we
I
act
have
this out in
done
4
exactly
squares?
what you guys are talking about before.
Oh, my
Really?
God.
Is it
Yeah.
on YouTube?
Yes.
Let's watch it.
Oh, yeah, what is the title? Let's watch this. Send me the title.
Can't believe. I gotta look it up real quick. I know it's over Tiny Toons. You remember Tiny Toons?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God,
yeah.
yes.
Me
We
and my
told
buddy
you.
muted a Tiny Toons commercial and did every single sound effect and the voices over top of it.
Oh my gosh.
Just for the hell of it.
And there's just for the hell of it. And there's a Flintstones one.
Wow,
We told
that
you
is-
this would be random.
Okay. I will Instagram you the Flintstones one right now. You shouldn't get any form of copyright issue because it's on my channel, I think, but you never know.
Yeah,
how
we
those
should be
go.
good.
Cool.
But while I'm loading this up, so you did Foley. That was one of your favorite things to do, and then you're gonna say some more stuff after that.
Oh, and then signal flow, like just the process of why you wire things a certain order and
Mhm.
like how like sound goes from one thing to the next, as opposed to, going to the compressor first, or you got to go to the preamp first. Like there's the reasoning behind all of the process of signal flow is interesting. And then something that I've never used since the school, but is like those boards, like those $1 million analog boards you see in like Universal Records or Sony Records. Like we would have days we'd have hands on for those. Never touched another one since, but it was just cool to a couple of times like actually record one song, which took like 2 or 3 weeks because we didn't know what we were doing, and that's the whole point, is like figure it out with like minimal help from a teacher, like to the process of using that console. That class was really cool too.
Do you think anybody will really use full boards like that? Because I remember when I went to Sweetwater, they had the full board and they showed it off in front of us. But then afterwards, he kind of just like started doing everything off the computer, and like you just saw the board move automatically.
Right.
I was like, well, what's the point of the But I guess
Right.
some people like the big
I
board.
can understand when there was a time that was necessary, when it was analog and you want 30 channels, you need a 30 channel board where every channel had the designated thing. But like now, you don't really need that, do you?
Yeah.
Not really. You just need a badass computer and you can pretty much do anything now.
Yeah, because literally it was just like, what are those called? There's a specific name. They're trying to some revolutionary thing, but it like didn't make sense because it just looks cool. It looks cool in the studio, so it looks legit. Like I remember the studio I was in, he literally bought one just for that reason. He was like, oh, we need to look like we're legit. I'm like, dude, I'm doing everything off my laptop. And so
It sounds like the Control 24 is what it sounds like you're thinking of.
yeah, and it has like the sensor on there, and it was like touch screen, but it was like unnecessary. And then but then you have the actual version right next to it, and as you touch it virtually, it will move the lever up. I'm like, what's the point? Like this is just like.
Do those boards have
right.
do those boards have like individual headphone routing for like different studio rooms?
Yeah,
Or-
they have multiple outs. They have like
Okay.
an 8 or 12 snake out. So like picture
Oh.
8 like a XLR.
And do they
out.
each have their individual mixes?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
each analog will
Okay.
be something, and
So
then
that's a huge perk that you don't get from a regular USB audio interface.
But if you have a Firewire, you can use the Focusrite Pro 40, and that does individual mixes. That's the thing that was so amazing about the new
really?
those new Focusrites. So it's called HD40. I had one, and we did that exact same thing. So I would have a snake that you connect on the back that would go to the separate rooms when we would record. So yeah, I mean, I'm not at the studio anymore, but when he got that, I'm just like, all right, you can waste like $6,000. That's cool. But you could do individual mixes, and the cool thing about that new Focusrite system is that you could do it digitally, which it is confusing. It was really confusing because it took me a good like 2 days to like finally get it.
Software?
Yeah, there's software that let you do the individual mixes. So if you're like, all right, here's a guitar mix, the guitarist would have that one a little bit higher, and then the bassist, the drummer, etc. But it did save you a lot of room.
With the 2-channel Focusrite?
No. You need that. Oh. It's those long ones that have like it's like a 16 out channel. It's huge. And then the newer ones, they minimize it even more because now it's like 1/4 inch going into XLR. But anyways, we're getting in the weeds with that. But I can't remember the name of the. I think it was Slate by the Slate Company, which the musician I can't remember the Slate something, but there you go. I'm like, but it was like he was a drummer or something like that for a band, and then they put it together. But it's like this crazy thing. But anyways, let's check out the Jetsons meet the Flintstones Sex Machine version.
Jetsons meet the
Sex Machine.
So this would be me and my old vocalist, the rapper that was in Hit 'Em. And I'm guessing, I don't recall all the details, but I'm guessing we were just like drunk at night, and I was probably suggested that we just do this cartoon, and then all of a sudden it just turns into literally what you're gonna see. This is so dumb. I can't believe we're watching this.
It's gonna be fun.
The Flintstones meet the Jetsons, but it's the Sex Machine version.
So those of you, if you're just listening from the podcast or watching this video, and it's going to be him making all the sound effects. And by the way, I found the mixer thing. I'll show you guys a picture of it right now. It's called Steven Slate Audio Core. So, all right, let's
and like pots and pans. Oh, that's not all by the mouth. It's like 99%.
Oh, okay.
99%.
We want full mouth, man.
Mouth.
One hole only.
Hey, Fred. I think I might have almost fixed George's sex machine. I want to try.
I have to change our rating for this episode.
This is great so far.
Look at that.
Quality content.
Boy, if I told you I was pretty close to getting this figured out, well, I think I got it. There was some cum on the button.
Oh, shit. There you go.
Let me at him.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna knock him out with my dick. Watch.
That's not how you beat the pussy up.
Sex machine online.
Hell yeah, now I can get my dick sucked.
Hell yeah, now I can get my dick sucked. Except from the
So random.
All
right.
How many plays does that thing have?
I don't know. Has 59,000 views. Man. Yeah, it's pretty good. Best school project ever. That is awesome.
Right. Yeah. Whoever looked for that was real surprised when they fucking found it.
Like, how do you buy
What
that?
the fuck?
Oh, here's the mixer I was talking about.
I gotta pee.
This is what I was talking about.
Just go, man.
The Raven Slate. This is what they had at the Sweetwater Sound or whatnot. But they would have the electronic board next to it, so you like slide those up and then
They move on the board.
Yeah, move on the board and stuff like that. It's cool. It looks futuristic as fuck, but unnecessary, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's all for optics.
Yeah.
Lord Vordor. And there goes the stream. Hey, he has 59,000 views. Oh, wow. We got detected for copyright. Oh, damn.
We did?
Yeah, we did.
God damn it.
Oh, man.
Just from the video?
I don't know
That's
why.
wild.
I wonder why the audio was.
Hanna-Barbera, man. Don't fuck around with them.
It's still playing on my end.
Wow. No. It said if you play it any longer, it's going to get taken down. It had the warning sign.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's weird. I wonder what it got copyrighted for. Just
Had to
sound?
be the Flintstones video.
You think it's the video?
Video footage?
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. I thought for sure we'd be fine with that one. I was like, that should be fine. Yeah, you never know. I guess. Oh, well. All right, man. Well, what are you up to? What is going on for the future of BG and the local band Smokeout? You got anything coming up? You want to tell people
sorry
about?
if that was my fault on the Flintstones Simpsons.
That was still pretty fucking funny.
It was so funny, yeah.
So later tomorrow we have the Tournament of Champions 16, and the cool thing about that one, Alan, is once we have a winner for that one, we're gonna invite you back to compete in.
Oh shit!
What we haven't named yet, but tentatively titled the Tournament of Champions Champions. So it's all the 16 previous winners going against each other for the ultimate grand prize. Now I don't even know what the grand prize is going to be.
You want to give everyone context on how that works, how it starts off on your show, because this is all part of his Twitch channel, guys. And he goes live at 4:20 Monday through Friday on his Twitch, by the way.
Thank you. It's twitch.tv/local band smokeout. But so tomorrow we'll have the annoying 30-minute timer, and then we'll start the tournament. But basically we go on the left side down to the right side. You can find the artists that are involved on facebook.com/local band smokeout. Look for like a big purple tournament looking thing. But there's a lot of Japanese metal involved in it tomorrow. But we play one song from each artist, which have been predetermined either by the band themselves telling me what song they want me to use, or if the bands don't answer. Example, Hanabie's in it. They did not respond. So we just went with the song that won the day of the stream. And we go one song, vote right away. One band moves on, go to the next one. All the way down the line on the right. Then we have 16, 8, 4, 2, winner. It's pretty easy. In the event that there's a tie, which happens occasionally, there's, like 18 to 18, whatever, however many people vote. If there's a tie, we play a second song from each artist, but I select randomly those two songs, vote again, and usually there's never a tie after that. And then that's it. It's pretty easy. Then whenever we have the winner, as you guys in Alan, as you were, we'll eventually have this Tournament of Champions. But the rule that up to this point is you have to have 50,000 YouTube subs or less. And that's why Band-Maid would never be eligible, but Klupo was eligible. It was if I was good to go to Vegas, I'm putting it all in on that's who I think will win tomorrow.
So you're saying Dicodic's gonna have to go against Klupo? What you're saying?
Well, not necessarily, not yet. We'll find out tomorrow who's going to win. And if they win, then yes, you will eventually have to go against them.
That's going to be a hard sell.
That's cool. What if you have more than 50,000 subs, but your original music only has like 200 views?
Well, I don't have either one of those, so hey, I'm fucking game.
Well, we're actually changing those rules after the Tournament of Champions. We're going to just open the future tournaments up to every artist. But that's kind of like been the rule for like the last year that we've been doing it. Usually one every like month and a half. So about a year and a half we've been doing these.
That's cool, man.
I think you might keep one for lower subscribers just to give everybody a chance.
Actually, that's a pretty good idea, dude. I haven't thought about it.
I mean, yeah, because there's some people that probably won't get hurt if you open up to everybody. That'd be cool.
We've had some like right at the cusp of 50K, and you think that those artists are gonna like dominate, but they are the ones that sometimes are not sharing and even telling their fans that they're in it. So none of their fans show up, and sometimes bands are promoted pretty heavily, and they bring 30 or 40 viewers just to vote strictly for them, and they end up winning.
And by the way, he sends out a really cool package with a bunch of stuff. I got like 2 shirts, CD. I haven't listened to yet. Stickers, rolling papers, assortment of stuff. So it was really cool. A bunch of goodies. I was like, man. So I just gave it to our drummer. I'm like, here's the rolling papers.
It's all legally shippable stuff. Don't worry.
Yeah.
That's so cool,
is
man.
it? No, I was kidding.
Like, keep up the good work with the supporting smaller artists. Like, it's inspiring.
So do you get sponsors for your show for the stuff? Because I noticed you had a lot of stuff that businesses are label on some of the merch, like the koozie and stuff like that.
So over the like 7 or 8 years of doing this, especially in the early days, I get sent stuff from all over the globe just randomly in the mail, and I have probably like buckets full. And instead of just letting it sit there, because I've already jammed all that stuff, I've used the koozies, I've worn the t-shirts, and I can only have 300 t-shirts in my closet. So this is like a way I give back. So I'll put a couple of local band smoke out things in there, and then I'll put that CD in, and I'll put some stickers, and then hopefully you get a chance to check out that CD, and you're like, oh man, this is a band I would never have found unless it was given to me this way. You know what I mean? So that's why I hold on to all that stuff. But yeah, so you never really know what you're gonna get in the local band smoke out gift package that comes in the mail. I was once sent a movie reel this big.
Oh
like
wow!
Actual, like you put it in a theater to watch a movie.
So could you watch it?
I have no idea what's on it.
You're like, hey, what the
no
fuck?
idea what's on.
What
it.
is this?
You need a flashlight.
So who are you gonna send that to? Is what we want to know. No,
that I'm holding on to.
All right.
That's awesome, dude.
That's really cool, man. It's a fun show. It's really cool how you set it up. I was like, when I was watching it, it's unique. Like you play the first 15 seconds of stuff. How much backlash have you gotten for that? That's what I was wondering when I saw. I'm like, oh man, I can already imagine the comments on that one. Like playing 15 seconds of a song. Do you run into issues with that or not really?
Totally. And it's usually only if I like pause it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to shoot something for this tomorrow, which we kind of talked about earlier, where I'll completely stop it after like 15, 20 seconds. But usually I go about a minute to a minute and a half total. And that's just because we check out like 100 songs a day. So if I played all 3 or 4 minutes, we'd only get like 30 in. And
holy crap. I thought I did a lot of reactions.
Yeah.
That's
Wave and I did like 3 reactions within 2 hours. it was
1.5.
He's like,
RPR.
What?
H.
Oh yeah, it was reactions per hour. Yeah, RPH. Yeah, the new term was
this
coined.
Is while live?
This was while live.
What do you guys? How much can you talk about it for one song? Like for 40 minutes?
Bro,
talk about a lot.
It wasn't all relevant.
For the most part,
it was mostly bullshit. But
it was music related.
Oh, this reminds me of that one time that band no one's heard about.
I've taken a 4-minute song and turned it into 20 minutes or so video.
Yeah, it goes on.
It depends on what you're looking at and what you know about it, I guess.
True. That's the thing is like, or there's those bands where you just like end up just like staring at the screen and you're like, what is this? And like, don't have anything to talk about. Is there a band that you've had that you just like really despise and like you had how did you go about that?
What do you do in that case?
Yeah. What do you do in that case?
Wait, so you're saying is in the event I really don't like somebody's sound, but I have to do it for some reason?
Yeah.
There's 2 ways to go about it: the Wave Potter way or like the Ryan Muir way.
It
Wave will try and find something good to say about it, and I'll be like,
I rarely bomb. Do you guys rate the songs and stuff at the end of your reactions?
Probably
That's something I kind of always
Eric
do.
Does
is give a rating.
Eric does that. I don't, but because it's 2 people reacting, but he does. I don't.
usually it's the amount of F drums I buy.
I learned a long time ago that if the goal is for like more people to see the video and to get more shares and whatnot, like you can't bomb an artist like that musician may really and may have tons of fans and family that really like their music, and just because I don't like it doesn't mean I should give them a 2. So I kind of tend to be in the 7s to 10s always, but if I don't like something, I'll probably be like, it's a 7-1. But that is everybody else's like 2 or 3. But I don't want them to be like, wow, BG really sucks, man.
Yeah.
I would never watch his stuff or support him because he hates my music.
Yeah,
So,
I always let people know if I give it a 4. I'm like, guys, this is probably just not my thing, and that's why I'm rating it. But here's the reason why I'm giving it a 4.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, if something doesn't have to be bad for you to not like it. It can still be a great composition wise, but if it's not your thing, if people are going to see on your face whether you actually like it or not, if you're like, well, that was really awesome, and they'll be like, no, you fucking hated that. Don't say it was awesome,
Liar.
But yeah, I think be honest, but be fair.
Right, exactly.
Do.
Yeah. Well, that's nice that you like put it in that way. As long as you let them know. But it's a fun show. Like you had me hooked. I was shocked because normally I go to streams and sometimes I kind of get bored, you know. But I was pretty entertained. So for my mind, that's impressive. Because I was like, wow, I actually enjoy this. Very engaging Twitch stream, guys. So you guys should really check it out.
I was gonna say, like, you have a great way of like presenting things. It feels very professional, like the way that you present your show and you have everything organized, because it's a complete opposite of what I do, where it's just a total train wreck. You never know what's gonna happen.
He's been doing it a long time, man.
Yeah.
I almost thought you had experience in radio when I watched it. I was about to ask you, like, have you done radio? No, right?
Kind of. It's so I used to. There's a station near us called X103.9. They used to be in Southern California rock station. I don't think they're called that anymore. But I used to have a 30-minute segment on there once a week where I would just take like a Spotify podcast and send it to them and they would put it on the radio. But I've never actually like gone to a radio location and shot a show on a regular basis there. No.
Oh, okay.
But it was on the radio every week. It's kind of loophole.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, because that's what I almost felt.
That's what
like.
you're going for.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, Ryan, you're right. I mean, that's technically
that was only local bands that. So I'd be like, oh, this band from Denver, they're a hard rock band, blah blah blah, for fans of blank blank blank. Play their song on the radio, do like 4 or 5 of those, and then I would just talk about which one of those was my favorite, and all 5 of them would be ones I had not heard previously, and that would just air once a week.
Is this like your main gig that you do? This is all you do, or you do other things?
No, this is all I do. So I wake up in the morning. Well, the night before I do all my thumbnail stuff, and then all my notes for how to promote social media wise. For like right here, I did a band today. I'd never heard of. You guys have probably heard of Unleash the Archers.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I never ever heard of that band until like 3 hours ago.
Oh my god!
I saw your reaction to it too. Very good.
Oh my god!
Yeah, they
appreciate
awesome.
reactions too.
Seriously, it's like Band-Maid. Fucking Unleash the Archers. I fucking love that band.
Dude, they're hilarious.
For real. I'm gonna do a couple more. That was the first time I ever heard them before.
Yeah. Brittany Slays is fucking incredible singer, dude.
They're also hilarious too.
A whole bunch in the morning. Prepare for the Twitch show that day. Somehow watch a little bit of sports after that, and then go back to the thumbnails and prepare for the next day every single day.
Fucking thumbnails, dude.
That's a smart idea, doing the thumbnails first.
Yeah.
Like that.
Sometimes it doesn't work out though, because
I do that also.
The thumbnail might not match with how I react to it, because I do the thumbnails before I actually even hear it, which is probably not the right thing to do.
I get what you're saying. You're right. Sometimes it'll change up. I try to do them ahead of time also, but that's not with reaction videos. That's like other topics. Like I plan out the title and thumbnail first. I'm like, oh, what do I want to address? But with reactions, yeah, it's kind of hard because like
I'll rotate them if it's a drastic,
reactions. I take a clip from it or something like that.
Now, thumbnails sometimes are the most stressful part. Like when I clip this podcast, the clips, I'm like, I handle doing the clips, it's fine. Then you have to get all of them to upload because I'm uploading like 15 at a time. But then the thumbnails is where it's really like, this is the part that drives me crazy because I have to make 15 thumbnails. And I'm like,
you get quick after a while though.
Probably gonna piss someone off. You never know.
Get the speed up after doing it for a while.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool, man, that you kind of stuck with championing the local bands and bands that aren't getting a lot of play. I do a little bit of that. Obviously got the stuff people seen, but people give me requests and it's bands that a lot of people haven't heard of, and I put them out there and I'll get a few hundred streams or 400 whatever or views or whatever. But for every one of those, there's somebody it's like, I never heard of these guys. Thanks for sharing them. And that's like, I love seeing that,
Yeah.
It's a great
and
feeling.
100 is still a ton of people. Like if you're in a room with all those people, be a giant party,
Yeah, that's a good perspective to keep. Like, if 500-600 people have seen it, then Like if I any of my original shit, if I put on YouTube, it's way more than saw it before I put anything on YouTube. So I appreciate that shit too.
Yeah, because we've all played shows where it's like 5 people.
I've literally played to fucking nobody. It's like looks like it's a paid rehearsal, boys.
That's
Let's
all I
fucking
do.
Work on some shit.
Played to a bartender only before.
We were in a room. There was the bar, and then a separate room where we were playing, and there was nobody in there. And they shut the doors. It's like, all right, let's work on these songs. They're still fucking paying us.
That's crazy.
You still got paid.
Walk out, get a beer, go back in, shut the doors, fucking practice.
Dang.
That is badass. I remember going on.
Not really. It was pretty fucking sad.
But you got paid. I mean,
I got my $70. Hell yeah.
hey, man. Hey.
Was the beer free?
I remember going on tour.
Actually,
I went on tour with my old band, I Artifact, and we did all of the West Coast. And that's the worst feeling when you're on tour and on the road and you play a gig for like 2 people and you make nothing. You make no money because it's based off of like if you get people in there and you have to do it with merch. And I'm like, this fucking sucks.
They come back, people like, how'd your tour go?
Went great, bro.
Fucking awesome.
The cool thing though is there's always this. I remember we had like 3 badass amazing shows. Of course those always stick with you, like even with that Kodak we had a couple amazing ones, so we just like tell everyone about those 3 awesome shows. The other 8 were
I mean that happens to every band when they're first starting out though, like,
True.
I remember 21 Pilots talking about how they're absolutely massive now. They're selling out giant tens of thousands arenas, but they played shows for nobody when they first started out, and they're like, they pretended they were playing to a giant arena even when no one was there. Just put on the best show they possibly could, because there's still people that are going to catch it, and if they love the passion and are drawn in and see you're giving it 100%.
Exactly. And we just started playing again. We just got everybody like active again, and the biggest thing, like Wave just said, I'll go out to the crowd. I'll go to the bar and start like talking to people while playing guitar and like doing well, and that always works. Because I remember this.
Have you heard of Gaijin, guys?
I remember going out there like, what are you drinking? And I'm like doing a riff, and it's like, oh, this is badass. But it's cool. Like you got to do that kind of stuff because at the end of the show, the band after us was fucking phenomenal, but they're just standing there, like they're not acting like it's a big show. And we only played for like 10 people, but it's a great feeling because it was 10 people, we're like, you're the only band we remember because you were all in our face.
The comment Paul made in the chat impressed the whole crowd. Doesn't matter how many are there.
Yeah.
Impressed the whole crowd.
Dude, man, when I have like 10 people there, I'm like, I'm happy. I'm like, all right, that works. Because just having somebody to interact with, because I've played those shows where it's just like one person. Then a bombed shows, and that's just the worst feeling ever. And when you suck, and you're like, "Fuck, this really sucks."
Should we share bad stories? I had
yes,
go right.
All right, so I was I had a 3-piece band. It was me, the bass player, and a drummer doing. Basically, we were doing like from like Pearl Jam, Nirvana, and just old blues and Stevie Ray Vaughan and Hendrix and shit. And this guy's like, "Hey, I like your band. I'll manage you. I'll help you out, get some gigs." I'm like, "Right on."
Yeah.
So we did, and he had us play at this place, I don't know, somewhere in fucking Michigan. I don't know where, some little town. We go in, we set up in this bar, start playing. About the 3rd song, the jukebox starts playing. We're like, "Hey, man, can you turn off the jukebox? We're trying to play." He's like, yeah, I got it. And then like the door there's like a bar and then another bar behind it. Door opens. Then the door closes. Like, fuck, man. So we start playing again. Fucking jukebox comes back on. "Hey, man, you said you turn off the jukebox?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Oh shit." No. And they're like playing country and shit. It's like, this is a fucking country bar. Why are we booked here? And so I said, "Fuck it, we're leaving." So I start tearing down, and the guy comes like, "Hey, you're supposed to be playing." Like, "You're playing the fucking jukebox, dude. You don't want us to play where you're supposed to play, blah, blah." And I was like, I'm not going to play while you're playing. You obviously don't want us here. He's like, all right, clear up your shit. I'll still pay you. And then the bass player goes, no, fuck you, man. You ain't going to pay us shit. You don't want to be here. I'm like, shut your fucking mouth.
Oh my
like,
God.
You're get paid for not playing, you idiot. It's like an hour and a half away. So the ride home in the truck with like an extended cab was a bit awkward.
You're like, you idiot.
Now we didn't make anything, you dumb shit.
So you didn't get any more? Oh my
Nothing.
God. I would have
All
been
the
pissed.
time and the gas. And,
Oh, I would have decked him in the face.
did you say that was the drummer?
The bass player spouted off about it. Yeah.
Oh my God. When I was in my
All
early
that work to set up and
Yeah.
travel.
Yeah.
if that was
Sound
like in
system,
my
all that
early 20s, I would have been fighting. I've
That's
got
probably the worst one.
Wild.
Yeah, we had a thing where like, so I was making all the money when I was like 25. I was a young DM, so I like will fund most of the stuff. And I'm like, so the IR Artifact tour, I was like, I'm not paying nothing. Like, if you guys want me to go, I'm not gonna do that because people just use me, right? For it, I'm like, I'm not paying nothing. You guys do it. And then fucking the guitarist is like, well, I need you to pay this gas, but he messed up. He took us to a gig, and it was a actual packed venue. And the drummer was acting crazy because he was driving over curbs and almost hit someone the whole ride. We just hired this drummer for the tour. We never met him. We just met him through like FaceTime or something like that. And he goes on and he tells off the people. We're supposed to be paid like $200, $300 for a gig. And they're like, Oh, are you that one that just tried to fucking park over the curb and block this is in LA too. And then he's like, you can fucking leave. And we're like, and then Manny and I are looking at him and we're just like, dude, what are you doing? And it was like a similar situation. We get to the gas pump and Manny's sitting there asking me for money for the gas. I'm like, I'm not paying shit. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I was in that stubborn mood, right? Not thinking of the consequences, right? And I'm like, nope, not paying anything. So it was just like awkward for about 2 days. We still
You guys had never jammed with him in person?
Never. He was a hired gun. So we toured in Juarez first. We did 3 gigs there, and those were good. And it was cool. And we didn't realize how reckless he was, right? So that was our testing out with him. And we're like, okay, cool, we'll have him on there. Then we realized he was a psychopath.
Never talk to that guy again.
Oh, we don't. We don't talk to him. He almost killed us 3 times, like during it. He went off-roading
all
with
the
the
people
truck.
in the band, the one that's hired and is kind of a stranger would be the most well-behaved, you know?
Yeah, you would totally do that.
Yeah, it was insane. Did you ever play out with your band when you were in the group? Did you do any touring or anything like that?
No touring, but yeah, we played out, but it just Southern California.
Southern California.
No ventures out of state or anything.
Any crazy incidents with the band?
Yeah, I do have a kind of a weird story. Somehow I got a hold of this is actually in the Rebellion pre-hit 'em. So this would have been like 12 or 13 years ago. I got a hold of somebody at MTV, the person that chooses the videos that get selected. Back when MTV used to play music videos, literally like 13 or 14 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like one of the last segments that they had that they would do it. And he was like, oh, I need the video to be in like a beta VHS, which I'd never heard of. We had to figure out what that was, how to get our music video on a beta tape, which cost hundreds of dollars. And we didn't trust mailing it in. So within 24 hours, we saved up a couple money for some small gigs and flew me to New York. I was in New York for about 2 hours, and I'm like barely made it back to the airport to get back on the plane and come all the way back to California. I go to New York. I go to MTV Studios, and I hand deliver this music video to the person I was talking to in emails. They get the video. So I leave and fly back, but it was California to Chicago to New York, New York to Denver to California. And it took like 24 to 30 hours to do the whole mission. 2 weeks later, our video was on MTV.
What?
Wow.
Holy shit. You said you were in New York for like 2 hours. You fucking went to deliver it and then busted back to the airport.
Like literally they're boarding when I got back to the plane to get back on. Dude, it was all like planned, it was all like planned out to a T, and it barely worked.
Why
It
would
was
you not
on-
stay there longer?
I don't recall why, but I had to be back.
He got
I had
the
to be back
job
in
done,
California
dude.
for something.
Were you
Yeah,
high?
True story. It was
That's
only
so
played a
cool.
couple of times, like maybe like 4 or 5 times, and then it was pulled, and then they put it into MTV On Demand.
The chat's like, that had to be 30 years ago, dude, not 15 years ago.
It was a long time ago.
Michael said BG is smoking and time traveling. Don't they ever say don't get high in this sky, or like don't ever get something like that, or
I
fly
would
and get
imagine
high
the
or something like
paranoia
that?
is pretty bad when you're in
Don't you ever get stuck in the
30,000 feet
sky
in the
while
air.
you're high? Is that System of a Down lyric?
It was. I remember feeling kind of sick when I got back. Like I just felt like my body felt like wiped out. From that much flying, and it's just a short time frame. So
You
probably
warped
got-
3
You got
hours.
airplay.
We did not much, not much at all. But
What was
at the
it?
time, it was like the biggest thing in the world. The band was called The Rebellion, and the song was called "Grown and Sexy." And we actually got Trina on the remix, which broke radio for a short time. And this is gonna blow your guys' mind. I'm not even kidding. Alan, you can Google this to confirm.
I will do
Michael
that right now.
Jackson's dad was our manager.
Holy shit.
What?
I
I'm
found the
not
music
even
video. Is this
messing
the
around.
music video right here?
How?
Is
If
this,
it starts with a bunch of people like praying over a pot cauldron on a beach, that's it.
Is it featuring someone?
If it says featuring Trina,
Yes, I got it
Holy
right here.
shit.
Dude,
That's
that's
it.
crazy.
but there's if you Google it, there's video footage. Just type The Rebellion and The Rebellion Joe Jackson, and it should pop right up.
Oh,
They did like Joe Jackson did like a small radio tour run with us, where he would go to like the big station in Atlanta, and I think our drummer went with him for that, and they were in studio like talking about the song, and it was totally a waste of money and waste of time. First of all, everything that happened was the radio guy would ask like 1 or 2 questions about the Rebellion, and then they'd ask him 75 questions about Michael Jackson.
Dude,
That-
I'm sorry. There's the video. There's Rebellion and Joe Jackson promote Grown and Sexy single featuring Trina. And then there's Rebellion making of Grown and Sexy music video part 1.
Yeah, it's part 1, part 2.
It's got like 1.1 thousand views.
what's up with this one where it says the rebellion of Joe Jackson sucks?
Dude,
I mean,
Is that even related, or is it just
I don't know. like,
it's
like is it
probably
actual?
related.
It's a whole
It's
YouTube.
probably-
That's a YouTube
What?
channel?
No,
That's a full
that-
channel.
so
I don't even know what that is. That's hilarious.
is you rocking the long hair, BG?
Yeah, the eyeliner and the long.
Oh, that's so nice.
Wait, I need to find this video. Send me the link, right?
I just Rebellion, Grown and Sexy. That's all. I
Grown
put
and
in.
sexy. All right, we gotta show everyone this.
Hold up.
This is
Where you want
Throwback
it?
City right here.
I got it. This is Vimeo right next to it, right?
Oh
Well,
shit!
here, he'll tell me if this is the right one. Here you go. Is it this right
Oh,
here?
here it is.
They got me copyright incoming.
Yeah, I won't play it, but is this it?
That is the video.
All right.
You gotta scrub it.
It plays. Apparently, Vimeo plays it automatically.
Oh shit!
That's awesome, man. And then it just stopped, huh? Well, I guess Vimeo plays automatically when you click on the.
I got one that's just got a static picture, but the song plays.
Oh, that might work better.
Yeah, but
'Cause for audio, they only claim it when it's
I
That's-
put the link in our.
a lame label.
either ways, guys, go check it out.
I can put it in the
Or
chat.
don't.
Go
You
check
want me
it
to put it
out.
in the chat or not?
Give it.
I
Give
don't care
PG.
if you do.
Yeah, put in the chat.
But
Dude.
you're just gonna want those 4 minutes back.
Hey, by the way, I
Nothing
just want
good.
to say real quick, Polska Bob, thank you so much for the membership, man. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
And Polska.
Oh. So, what's the future looking like?
7.1 from Paul.
7.1.
That's great.
Somebody is paying attention.
So what's the future holding for you? I think we already said that, but what's the next thing planned?
Right, actually got to jet out probably in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, we'll wrap up right now.
I'm doing the rare Facebook live stream today, which is always a disaster.
Facebook
because they'll hit me with a bunch of copyrights. We'll probably only be on for 30 minutes, but we're Jordan Blake of a Scarlet Drive actually texted me earlier today. For some reason, a Scarlet Drive and us are just like this. We've had him on probably 12 times, 13 times. And he said he has enormous news to announce. So he's going to hop on for a little bit and break that news. But today's kind of like just a preview of what people can expect tomorrow for the tournament. And since we do everything on Twitch, I thought, let's see what we can get away with as fast as we can on Facebook and hopefully get some people to trickle over and support some artists.
So type in local band smokeout over on Facebook, and that's how you guys can find it. I'll pop up right away. Ooh. And follow them on Twitch for Monday through Friday at 4:20. And thanks again, man, for coming on. I really appreciate it. And guys, if you want to support the podcast, you can join our memberships like Bob did just a moment ago. Also, we do have 15% off and free shipping on our entire merch store right now. So the Misa shirts, the Maniac shirts, the Gaijin guys shirts that Ryan's wearing. Oh, Ryan has a sick banana design with drumsticks coming out of it. It's pretty sick.
The banana.
Sticks. You know, I got to explain what the fuck's coming out of it, dude.
Yeah, go check out the store.
The banana with drumsticks.
The banana with drumsticks. I got to
also add on the 13th, I'm going to be on local band smokeout.
I was going to say that. Yeah, we got Ryan on the show on December 13th, and then eventually, Alan, we'll have you back on for Tournament of Champions. Do you guys have a suggestion of what that should be called? Because that's kind of weird to call it the Champions. What would be the title you would go with?
It's easy to remember though. Champions.
Well, now that's all I'm going to think about. So you might as well just leave it, man. I think you're good.
It's catchy.
All right, fair enough.
All right.
People don't say champions that often, so when they got to say it twice, they're going to fucking remember.
No, it's good when you hear it twice.
The BG of champions. We call this. That sounds so weird. The BG of champions. That's one letter close to something else. But anyways, I had to. I'm sorry.
Dave, it was awesome meeting you for the first time, sir. I'm
you
not
too.
familiar. I'll make sure to sub your channel as well and support, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, keep up the good
keep coming
work.
out with those Circus Survive covers, please.
Well, it's been like a 15-year hiatus, but
go blow the dust off. Let's bring
it's hard to find someone who can sing Anthony Green.
That is true.
That's
true.
All right, guys. You guys have a good one. We'll talk to y'all later. All right.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Later.
See you.